Let's try that. And let's try that. Can you talk for me, Rob?
I can talk for you, Ryan.
Try again.
I can talk
Okay.
again for you, Ryan.
That might work. Apologies for anyone watching. Thank you for letting us know that it's not working. We're trying all new technology today to try to make it more exciting. And certainly not hearing anything could be called exciting.
I bet people think it's really exciting.
Yeah, so you should text your wife back and just make sure that we're getting that sweet audio.
Quick question. Am I still frozen
you
to
are.
everybody else?
Yes,
Perfect.
you are so stoic.
That's perfect. It's like whatever I say, it's got more meaning and intenseness based on my photo. You know, that's
I
what
do
went
believe we
for.
have audio now. I just checked as well. Sorry about that. So we'll restart. That was a really good fun test run there. You're moving now. So we got Rob Pero and Brent Hoffman of Perodigm Marketing Boutique Super Extravaganza joining us here today. I'm Ryan Frang. You got John Shoemaker. Where is he? Right here? Over this way. Boom. Creative directors here at Backflip. So we're going to talk about life, business, whatever. We haven't been able to travel much lately, so this is just a fun time to hang out. But why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself now that we have audio?
All right, I'll try this again. My name's Rob Pero. I'm the owner of Perodigm Design Studio in Cambridge, Wisconsin. We are a marketing and media production boutique agency.
So boutique.
Just specializing in getting out brand narratives for small businesses, nonprofits. We also do a lot of work in Native country. We are a proudly owned, Native-owned business. I am Bad River of northern Wisconsin. That's a little bit about us and our business. B, tell them about yourself, man.
Yep, what he said. No, I've been in marketing for a very long time. Been working with Rob. It's been fantastic. And what he said.
Nice.
CP.
And John, we kind of talk every week, but why don't you give a little bit of information about us? Get you in there for a second.
Yeah, I'm just going to use Rob and Brent's intros for myself again, like they did, and just say what he said again. Okay. No, let's see. What are we expecting people to know about us already, and what kind of information should I give them? We're a creative marketing studio, do a ton of film production, video production, but also websites, graphics, and we've been getting into some digital marketing and stuff. And really, we just try to do things that follow our shtick, make awesome. And founded the company with Ryan in college. I was just telling somebody the story about it again the other day with all the partners we started with, and it's fun. It's a fun story.
Yeah.
Maybe for now, maybe for another time.
No, just leave the audience hanging. It's a fun story. Next topic. I was mentioning earlier kind of the funniness of it too, because what did Rob, you said something. Oh, why boutique? I asked boutique and you're like, I think it's just a cool word. And I love that in terms of, how we kind of come up with things. And that gets into our story a little bit. Like John was saying, why Backflip? John, where did Backflip come from?
Sorry, I've got my peanut gallery. They're getting the Legos out this morning. Okay, so it sounds funny every time we say it, but it came to me in a dream, and that's the real story. We're sitting around, trying to come up with our business name, and having these little meetings, talking about what we're going to do, and just kind of pitching around different names. And I think the problem we were running into really is that we were overthinking it. We were trying to think about trying to make it mean, something related to video or film production. And as we kept thinking of different ideas like that, they just kind of kept landing flat to our ears, and they just, they didn't have that certain something. And one, night amidst these meetings, I had a dream that we were in one of those meetings, and I forget how the idea came up, but we named the company Backflip Films. And then I just brought that to the next meeting and said, hey, I had this dream that we named the company Backflip Films. And everyone was kind of like, yeah, I like the sound of that. And then it stuck. And then, we tried to make it mean more at different times, like, oh, maybe we make some sort of analogy or something. And that always just didn't feel very genuine. So just kind of a fun name, and tries to communicate some of our personality in, short period of time. You know how it is with like naming a business. You're trying to, like, how much can I communicate in like one word or two
Plus,
words?
we don't have a cool
whatever,
name, so we couldn't be like Fringdime or Shoemaker Dime or Fring Shoemaker Films. Which gets us to Perodigm. How'd you guys come up with that? The leading question.
Ooh, good question. Yeah, thanks. Well, I had a dream. I should say that. No, so there was freelancing back in the day as a designer. Just think about all different names for, like, what you can make your LLC is really all that I was trying to do. And then I thought about the word paradigm, which in my opinion, from what I understand of it, there's a definition that means the lens through which we view the world. So I thought that was an interesting take on taking my name and injecting that into a word that I think goes hand in hand with marketing and design and production and telling stories. So, it was just throwing my last name in with Perodigm, and, I drew up the logo many years ago, and, it definitely has some, kind of tribal influence aesthetically. And, they talk about, you see an eagle or a hawk, when you're out and about, it just means that you're meant to be there at that time. So it provides purpose, and, the logo kind of represents kind of where I came from as a background and my ideals. And it's just that's sort of the origin of the Perodigm name and logo.
I've always loved it and appreciated how well that worked out with your last name, because I love the idea of a paradigm shift, and that just works so well. And like you said, you tie in, I don't know, do you have any logo? Oh, you got the logo, Brent.
I got it right here.
There it is, all over. You're way better at this than John and I. John, what logos do you have?
I am frozen again, so you know. So I will. Oh, my back moving. I gotta just get a good stoic
Oh, there we go.
face. So when I freeze again. But yeah, I've got a couple of logos around.
Yeah, and just there's movement in it. There's kind of like the phoenix, if you see the colors that you have, Rob, like the rising from the ashes, and there's a lot of meaning in there, and I love it because it works. Like John was saying with ours, we were trying to be like, well, backflip over the competition for you, and we're like, nope, not working. Just a cool word, and it works. So that's that wonderful story. So thank you for sharing yours as well. I wanted to, before we get into the thing too deep, I want to play a little game. We sometimes play this just because, when we're in a meeting, you ask questions and you're like, wait a second, is that true? So let's play Two Truths and a Lie. Learn a little bit more about each other. And this is on our business page, so we'll keep it at that level. Just a little precursor there. I'll give you guys a second to think about it while I tell mine. We got to make sure that, you got to have your game face on, your poker face. We've all played poker together, so, this should be like second nature. Okay. So, when I was 12, I lost half of my left pinky while skating. Not like skateboarding, roller skating. My pinky toe, not my hand.
I'm already sensing the lie. I'm already sensing that's the lie. I'm just going to go with
All
that.
I think it's oddly true.
You're like, I think your body's weird. In college, I was a bouncer, and one time had to bounce a 300-pound Marine out of a bathroom. So that's another one. Let's see. This is hard too.
This has got to be the lie.
I eat. No, I don't want to go that route. I should have prepped before this. Technical difficulties and context difficulties. I have 6 kids and have been married for 12 years. All right.
I'm trying to count your kids in my head right now, and I can't.
How well we know each other.
It's 5 or 6.
I'm trying to think of how I can fact check your last one because I don't know if the 12
I'm
years
trying to make
is
it difficult
accurate.
for John too.
Yeah. And you just go if he's just going off like a technicality of like, slightly wrong detail on that one.
All's fair in Two Truths and a Lie.
So I'm getting some feedback from people watching saying it's very glitchy and you're only hearing like every, 5 to 10 seconds.
Quick, let's all get our truths out while nobody can hear them.
Exactly.
Here, let's see this.
Business page, so we'll keep it at that level.
We're just
little precursor there. I'll give you guys a second to think about it while I tell mine.
I'll keep monitoring this too.
You gotta have your game face on your poker face. We've all played poker.
Yeah. With it, it's all good.
Yeah. Good. Well, experiments. So go ahead and what's the truth? I guess there's 2 truths.
Well, yeah. What's the lie?
I don't want to give them. I feel like I can pinpoint these. I want to see what Rob and Brent go for.
I'm sticking with my first one. I don't know. The whole mixing up a pinky and a finger and what activity you were actually doing, I just think there might be something fishy going on there.
I think there's no way that you were ever a bouncer or that you could handle a 300-pound man.
We don't believe anything you said.
And I'll throw my guess out there as I'm going to guess the pinky one.
All right. It is, in fact, the pinky one, the pinky toe. I have all my digits, and they're all very normal sized, I guess. I was a bouncer for about a month. And I was at downtown, where was it, Johnny O's. And you rotate through different positions, and I started hearing glass bottles breaking in the bathroom. And I was sitting by the bathroom. I was the bathroom bouncer. And went over there, and big guy, and he's just there. People line bottles up; they just leave them there. He's grabbing them and just chucking them. And I did not physically bounce him out. I talked to him for about 15 minutes and kind of got on his side. He was like a Marine, all this and that and drama. And then I'm like, all right, well, we got to get you out of here. There's broken glass; it's not safe. So then I got him out, and then his friends came over like, we're so sorry. I'm like, get this guy out of here. Or
how much did you pay him to leave?
Oh, man.
Did you be like, come on,
I
man,
just had to
please?
keep going. I had to keep going. I couldn't stop. So much money. But, yeah. That's my 2 truths and a lie. Good job.
Like,
That's
All right,
awesome.
who's next?
I have no problem going next. I might as well get it out there.
Yeah.
All right. See if you can tell which ones. Let me see if I'm getting this right here. I was shot in my leg with a brand new deer tip hunting arrow by my friend. I once was beat up by 5 dudes that were like much smaller than me, and once spent quality time on Snoop Dogg's tour bus.
Do that last one again. I was checking our audio.
I said I once spent quality time with Snoop Dogg
my
on his
gosh.
tour bus.
And now the second one.
Which ones have you heard? So we got the tour bus with Snoop Dogg, shot in the leg with an arrow, and beat up by 5 dudes that were smaller than me.
Were these dudes kids?
They were not kids. They were not kids. It was college years, and I was perhaps a little too big for my britches in the wrong situation. Shit, that's a truth. So I guess you can't use a
Truth.
Oh, hey, you know what? I just realized I just shared all truths.
My life is amazing.
No, I don't know why. I was thinking I was going to say something different about one of those, but now I'm replaying it. I'm like, no, that's actually the truth. I need to come up with a line.
You're
now,
gonna have to think
so.
of 3 whole new
Go ahead,
ones.
your turn.
Yeah, we promise not to assume that this next thing you tell us is a lie.
Yeah, we totally don't believe it.
Yep. I missed that train just went the other way. So Rob, you're this way, right?
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah. Is this how the Brady Bunch always did it?
Yeah,
Like,
you
how
guys
do they
can
ever
see
pick out which
the boxes because sometimes when you're in Zoom, it like moves it around or Skype or whatever. But in this case, we should all be pretty darn good.
Right.
Yeah. Like
I like you
Brent's
just
right.
got to remember to point the wrong way, the other way. Like he's
Brent's right
Alright.
there.
yeah, but I'm not. Gotta
So
point
Rob,
the
you
other
should
way.
have all the info.
Okay. What if everything that I say sounds like it would be a
All the
lie?
better.
Should I just say them? Okay.
We gotta
Sleuth. Ooh. So I once partied with Jaleel White, otherwise known as Urkel, at Discovery Island in Disney World. And my buddy came up and we kind of I was like, hey man, like you want to have a beer? Like I'm a huge fan of Family Matters. Which that was a lie, but he didn't know that at that time, but I totally knew who he was. And he was like, oh man, that's awesome. And he's like, nah, like I can't, there's too many people around. And then my buddy came up and was like, oh, well, cool. Like we appreciate it. And then they did this like big, like high five handshake, like slapping skin stuff. Like they rehearsed it. So anyway, that's one story.
That'd be great if it's a technicality. Like everything's true except for the hand slap.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. The second one would be that I lived in Germany and from 1984 to 88 and was there to see the Berlin Wall before it came down. Was there when Ronald Reagan came over and flew in on Air Force One. That probably sounds pretty factual. And the third one is, this is going to be a really, really good one. I can't think of it. So that's
you guys suck at this game.
We are
Oh my
terrible
gosh.
at this game. We are terrible.
I'm horrible. I
amazing.
can't lie. I can't lie on camera.
Either that means we're just very honest people and we can't even think to tell lies, or we just have something wrong today. I don't know.
Or maybe the skeletons in my closet aren't ready to be pulled out.
Maybe the biggest issue is filtering through the truths that you're trying to decide whether you can say or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of it too, John.
Yeah, I knew. I
Okay.
feel like I knew the Germany thing. You lived there as a kid, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I put a big thing in my mouth and now I'm talking. This is terrible TV.
I mean, like I was an adolescent. I was going through puberty at the time, so it was a transitionary period for me. Kid to young teen.
Thanks for the designation. And then the Steve Urkel thing really happened, huh?
No, that was
Wait,
a lie.
what? This is a
No, it really
roller
happened.
coaster of emotions you're taking us on.
No, that really happened, and that's a memory that my buddy JJ and I will have forever. Me, him, and
That's amazing.
Jaleel.
Yeah,
As
your
I like
boy
to call
Jaleel. Nice. Cool. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, Johnny,
Thank
you're
you,
up.
guys. John.
Okay. I've never had like a full bone break, but I sprained my right ankle very, very severely twice. Once playing soccer and once playing basketball, and I broke my left wrist, just a hairline fracture, twice, both times on the monkey bars. Once in first grade, once in fourth grade.
That's a good way to play this game.
A lot of technicalities.
Is that one whole
That was two.
statement?
That's
Oh,
the whole thing. That's one. That's a fact about. They're all related to my. I've never shattered a bone or fractured it. I drank champagne out of the Stanley Cup when I was in college. I was at a friend's party and another friend had the cup there from winning
The Stanley Cup?
the tournament. The Stanley
From winning
Cup.
the Stanley Cup.
And they passed it around and everybody got to drink from it.
Mm-hmm.
When
Is
I
that a
was
part of
in
the
high
bone breaking
school-
story?
Yeah. So that is that. When I was in high school, I was in a traveling Caribbean style steel drum band and would frequently be assigned to sing the song My Bonnie in a Jamaican accent.
I would, so I can make a good informed decision, I would like to hear that rendition now.
I've forgotten. It's been a long time.
Oh, okay. Sure.
All right, so you've never shattered a bone, you've sprained a lot, and then I thought the second half of that story was then you broke two bones.
Hairline fracture. I realized it was a weird way to say it when I.
Okay. And then the second one was the Stanley Cup. And the third one was singing Jamaican songs in a steel band.
Caribbean style steel drum.
To those who know the difference. Okay. What do you guys got? I think I know which one it is. But
I'm going Stanley Cup.
I'm going with that long-winded bone story.
I'm gonna go with the bone story too, because unless you're doing a detail thing with the Stanley Cup, or excuse me, with the steel drum band, you were in a steel drum band, and I do remember the Stanley Cup making its way through Wisconsin, and I thought I remembered you telling that story, so I think I'm just going on our friendship and what you've told me. I'm hoping it stands.
Good job, Brent. It was the Stanley Cup. That was actually somebody else's story. That's
Nice.
Julia.
I am 2-4-2. So anybody keeping score at home, I would just like the world to know I am currently in the lead.
The human lie detector. Attaboy.
That
Of course, you can't tell a lie.
yeah, you're so in tune with the truth. Impressive.
Right? I can't speak a lie, and I can spot
Yeah.
spot the truth. It's my my gift. It doesn't seem to work on my kids or wife for some reason, but the rest of the world
Only
is pretty
speaking
good
the
at
truth.
it. Right. My kids
Easy, Brent. They're probably watching.
They're so proud.
I know.
It's okay.
But they're upstairs. I told them they couldn't come downstairs, so at least the argument will be after the call. So that's good.
And hopefully every minute or so it just cuts out. It'll be fine. We'll cut out the bad stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be like TV. So how often we ask this question in the beginning, but I kind of wanted to just get going with some entertainment. How are you guys doing? What's life like right now during all this crazy world?
Life for us is super busy. I think, and we've talked about this offline too, but all of us, either you're really, really crazy busy with work and stuff, or you're really stressed out at home, or things have really, really slowed down at work, but there doesn't seem to be, a lot of things that have stayed the same. So as we talked earlier, that kind of paradigm shift, I think, is happening. No plug intended there, but this is a time where I think everyone is doing things a little bit differently, and for us, I think we've embraced it, and we've never been busier, to be honest. And it's just opened ourselves up to new opportunities and just new ways of doing things, and just how you appreciate the time that you do have with family, and also the time that you maybe don't appreciate as much as we used to. So it's just made us, I think, more aware. So for me, we've been good. Family's good. We're healthy. We're following the rules and to the best of our ability, and just watching out for each other. But things are good.
Golf courses, so a little bit of
yes,
entertainment.
Yeah, it is nice. We are a golfing family, so we typically take shifts. I'll go play, and my wife will go play with her friends, and my daughters will go play, and then we'll take the little ones out later at night. So it's been a nice reprieve for us to get outside.
A naturally socially
and do something
distanced
active.
sport. It's great. Yeah.
Yes.
How about you,
one of a
Brent?
kind.
I want to know how many people's golf scores are going to magically go up now that there's not many people
The
having to
handicap
see
goes
what
down.
they did.
Not mine. Actually, mine are going up. I think you mean in golf they go down.
Go down, right? You know what I mean? Better.
So you can't go to the range. So if you're not a range junkie like I am, where you want to just go hit balls for a half an hour, then you get out to the course and you play, and the front nine is my range. So that's where I'm just hitting a variety of different shots, completely unintentional. But yeah, it's you'd be surprised. There are some guys that are just lighting it up right now, so that's cool to see. But open the range, and then I'll get back on my horse.
I can't wait. Can't wait to join you. You'll have to.
I can't wait. My schedule is pretty booked for the summer, but I think we'll be able to find something in the fall.
Yeah, no, mine too. How about yours, John?
Yeah, pretty busy right now. There's the lie. Brent.
So Brent, how about you? How's your family been? And obviously, Rob talked a little bit about the business and just the busyness of it. But how are things going for you guys?
Yeah, no, family's good. I mean, for as hard, I don't. Everybody else has talked about it. Whatever, you don't get married or have kids because you want to spend every single second of your life with them. Not not to sound bad, but you know what I mean. It's just a
Sanity.
reality. That was what we lived in. You're kind of away. You got time. Yeah. Um, so that that's just been an adjustment, but it's been more for me. It's been more beneficial than problemsome because I was more gone before than I was home. So it's been really nice to spend more time with the family and work on little projects with the kids and stuff like that I normally wouldn't have been able to do. So in that regards,
Yeah,
it's been
and
really,
just
really good.
the state of the world. Like, what are you hopeful for? What are you guys hoping for?
Rob, do you want to go? I got to remember.
Yeah. Geez. I mean, one of our partners here at Perodigm made a really compelling video a few days ago, and she works a couple jobs. She was a former stunt woman in Hollywood, and she joined our team a few months ago as a production assistant, and she's awesome. Her name is Amanda Borkart, and we challenged her to make this video because she also works on the weekends and delivers food. So she made this really interesting, engaging, and heartfelt video of one of those essential workers that's going out and delivering food every day. And I think the theme of that video, and I'd encourage people to go watch it. It's on the Perodigm Facebook page, but was really just talking about how rude everything feels, but that through that rudeness is actual empathy and conscientious acts that are being done towards keeping people safe and whole. As odd as everything seems, and the way that we're engaging with each other, and like you get in like an aisle with someone at the grocery store, and you're like, whoa, and like I should go down a different aisle. Like, it's not meant to be rude, but that rudeness is actually, in a way, helping people to be safe. And there's an understanding in that rudeness that her video really, I thought, shined through, what that intentionally is doing, and that the goal is, as she said, and it was very poignant, hoping that we can all come out of this on the other side as just better humans. So I think that's a theme that, a lot of people are wanting to echo, and we can get down on ourselves and feel depressed and feel like everything's out of control, or we can appreciate what we're all going through and hopefully, evolve and get better from it.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. You said that's on the Facebook Perodigm Facebook page? Cool.
Yep.
We'll watch that.
Yeah, it was working, sharing Rob's sentiment with that. It's been really cool just to see the world through the eyes of different people and firsthand too. Not like I heard this on the news. This was like a firsthand account, unfiltered, hasn't been passed through anybody's media approval. You know what I mean? It's just her take, and it's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are you hopeful for?
Merry Christmas. I don't, honestly, what am I hopeful? I'm just hopeful that a lot of the things that we're learning right now about the power of family and the power of, being a family unit is one of the most, if not the most powerful forces in your life. And it can literally control every aspect of your life for the good or the bad. And it's been kind of nice to it's almost like it's been going through like marriage classes again. And not in a bad way. Like you learn how to live with somebody again when you drastically change the amount of time you spend with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you are digging yourself a deeper hole during this.
I liked it.
Thank goodness Mother's Day 2 days away.
Thankfully, she's not my mother. No, trust me, my wife.
Your wife on our stream. What?
Yeah. Probably, but no, my wife is a rock star. She lets me do whatever is needed for us as a family. So I say it in all joking matter, but it has been nice. It really has been nice to spend time with them again. So.
Well, and you're right. We're around each other so much more. It's the same thing anywhere, anytime. When you spend more time with people, those things that bug you come up more, and then you have to figure out, okay, how do we get through this? Is it a me thing or is it a you thing? Like I have a bunch of these little stupid things, and they make fun of me at the office. Like if somebody leaves on the a time on the microwave, then that just irks me to no end, right? Because it's like, oh no, next person, you go ahead and clear this for me. Also, I'm like, why don't you just do the right amount of time? Clearly that's a me thing. Clearly that's a me thing. And it's been happening at home now, and I feel like from the training that I've experienced at Backflip, and just kind of the camaraderie, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. So you do have to figure out those things because you are around people, more intensely. And yeah, like it's been the same way for us, Brent. Just like disagreeing about something, and the disagreement isn't like just over a phone or a text or something like that. You're constantly talking about it throughout the day, and you're like, I gotta work. Okay, how do we do this? How do we, figure out a disagreement without it ruining 4 hours, as opposed to like, oh, we'll talk about it at the end of the day. It's so different, and you got to work through that dynamics. And I hope that maybe that's one of my hopes. I hope that we just become better in our families and our marriages, through this, when we are just, you're close together, you're grinding, right? Mm-hmm. Not the dancing kind.
Yeah.
Did you just do the
yeah? I mean, not
style?
the grinding dancing, but John, you were going to say something really important.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure.
I was just going to talk about Korean dancing. Really. No, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of similar things, and what I'm hopeful for is that people, like, when they get out the other side of this, don't just be like, oh, good, we can get back to working 12-hour days and only living for all the activities that kids are in constantly, and what
right.
It's like,
right.
Maybe this is an opportunity to be like, here's a little reminder for how this can be enjoyable to have a little time together. And maybe we don't want to be full-time quarantine together, but nothing, the world didn't end when we stopped doing some of the things we were doing, and just not filling our time to that extent going forward. Hopefully people, just make that adjustment or change.
Mm-hmm.
I love that thought too, because there's so many things that you before this thought were important. You're like, I can't miss this, and now you're like, that was never really that important. I put a emphasis on it for whatever reason it was, but it's really not that important.
Right. And especially this time, it's so apparent. We were driving back from, it was John's daughter's first communion today. We socially distanced in the church appropriately and celebrated with them. But on the way back, I was checking in and coordinating this, and got an email that somebody, a teacher's daughter who was in college, had passed away. And it was like, Wednesday got sick, Thursday went unresponsive, and then passed away. And especially now, just with our heightened sense of that, you got to think about those things. Like, that could happen to anyone. We don't know what it is. It's not necessarily important in that regard, but just thinking like, yeah, like that could happen to me, that could happen to you, and not even just now, like anytime ever. Next year, when we make all the vaccines for everything and our bodies are half robotic and whatever. I mean, hopefully they go robotic, but it could happen. And like, if that happens to you, are you going to be good with, where you're at? Or are you going to have things like, oh man, I really should have been nicer. I should have spent more time with my kids, or I should have done that hobby, or I should have created that thing that I think people would love. because I certainly know that I won't be like, dang, I wish I could have done 2 more tasks on my work task list. So I always try to, I maintain task lists, but I always try to really focus on like, what is the awesome part of this that I'm doing? What is the point, So I think that's just such a great reminder. So thank you for that. So
that's why we're all
go
here.
ahead. Go.
I just, sorry, I don't want to cut your chop your flow, but we've had a couple phone calls and we can kind of get into like how we started working together. But I still, to this day, every single time we have a meeting and John's there, it's always in the same spot with those instruments. And I really want to see him just take one down right now and just give us something live.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
There's not that many that I can.
Oh, you could rock
play.
a guitar though.
See, that could have been a lie. You could be like, I'm a pro at all of these, but I guess.
No, he's like, I'm not good at any of
these,
and then he just rips it out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is this one a tune?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Steel drum Jamaican song thing. I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah, I used to play. I played the cello, which is there's 3 of them, and they're all made for it. This is gonna. I gotta stop early, or the tangent's gonna go way too far. They're made out of those big, like 55-gallon oil drums, and they just made them because they could find them, on the, wherever in dumping grounds. And then they like figured out how to make really well-defined notes. And in like a steel drum band, and there's several different instruments. So like the one drum that's like hollowed way down low gets the high notes, and that's kind of your like lead drum. I played the cello, which is 3 drums, a little bit lower note. And then like the bass is like six of them, like 6 full barrels with just 3 notes per drum to get like real low notes. So yeah, it was
super legit.
It was not me. It was me living in a way that was not a good balance with family life. It was constantly in every single activity that you could be in, including a Jamaican steel drum band.
That's awesome.
Oh, I would love to hear you. You said they asked you to sing it, in kind of Jamaican style or whatever. I would still love to hear the beautiful notes come out of your vocal box, but we can get to that as we get through the day here.
It's just very Chicago.
We want to retain viewership, so we should probably.
Yeah, let's see. And we're dropping.
We are on Facebook and YouTube, and it sounds like YouTube is just streaming a little bit better. So if you do want to switch over to YouTube, you can do that. This is technology. We've done it differently every time, trying to figure out the best way to do it. So apologies for any issues that you're having, any frustrations, but please do ask questions because we can help answer them live. We're not going to spend too much more time because we like to have a happy hour, which usually is a little bit longer. And I know some of us have meetings after this, but please do post any questions that you have down below. But in the meantime, we've got some clips. I'd love to get into how the heck we got working together and all the cool projects we're working on. Because it's, I think I've told you this before. It's like some of my favorite projects, certainly ever, because we're doing really, really good work together.
Yeah, I can start that. A while back, and to preface, we are a Native-owned business. We work with a lot of Native businesses. We work with tribes. We work with Native American tourism of Wisconsin. And just to put that in perspective a little bit, understanding sort of the cultural depth of our great state of Wisconsin, we have 11 tribes that are federally recognized. And in Illinois, there are 0. So, we're a very culturally rich state. And, we had an opportunity that was put to us about a year or so ago to do some cultural sensitivity and training videos for some larger companies across North America. So, we're looking to increase our capacity in regards to what we could do production wise, beyond just our boutique studio here. And I was looking for some partners, and obviously wanted to find the right people, with the right intent, with the right kind of work ethic and creative capacity to do something that was really impactful. And I actually heard an ad. I heard it the other day too, because I heard like Ryan's
We
voice
got him
coming
back
through the
up.
radio on,
Yeah.
I think it was 105.5. Yeah. And I was like, oh, there's my friend. Is he in the car with me? I was like, no, he's on the radio. But it was one of those ads that I had just had some calls out, and then we ended up having a nice meeting at Backflip, and my buddy Mouse, I believe, came to my first meeting. We were on our way to, I think, a golf tournament or something like that. But we talked through these projects, and there was just an immediate chemistry that was formed, really between guys with pretty different backgrounds and different different ages as well. I mean, even though we're only about 10 years apart, we grew up in different areas with different priorities, different family styles, and just different backgrounds in general. So they were very interested. You guys were in engaging with native country and learning more about that. And it's really just led to some really cool projects, some really heart-wrenching stuff. And it's allowed us to become really good friends, I think, as well, which has bolstered our chemistry and allowed us to really kind of take the reins off of what we can do creatively. So it's been a really cool, year plus for me and our team personally, and just getting to meet you guys, getting to know you and your families a little bit, and I think it's just made all of us more well-rounded as creatives. And we've really put out some of the best work of my professional career. Super proud of it. We have a lot more stuff that's upcoming.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe they were only our 9th option too. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Wait, what do they say?
My 2 cents. I mean, obviously, Rob was in the driver's seat and set up everything and got the relationship started. But it's been it's always cool when you can work with another company or another person or whatever it is, and you're in so close to relatively the same space, but attacking things from different angles and approaches. So learning from each other, I think, has been very cool too.
So I do think we have a couple things here. We've got the new emotional trailer and the new glitchy trailer. Do you want to? That's what we call them internally. Rob, do you want to give us a little bit of setup before we play these?
Yeah, sure. So one of the projects that came about in the last year was a piece for the state of Minnesota in regards to human trafficking awareness, and it's not a fun fact, but it is a true fact that Minnesota is the 3rd highest state for human trafficking in the country. And a lot of people, don't like to hear that news or really, even open their eyes to it.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
I was getting like a major echo there for a second, so I stopped talking. These trailers that you're going to watch are set up a glimpse to a much longer documentary film that we put together with a lot of collaboration from law enforcement, nonprofits, and tribal members from Minnesota, knowing that tribal populations are trafficked at a much, much higher rate than any other ethnicity out there. So if that's enough of a setup there for you, Ryan, if you want to add anything else to that, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I said before, it's one of my favorite projects, and I think the reason is because it's good work that needs to get done. And we've met just amazing people who are working on this and working hard, and that's been amazing. People who've been through this, like I think the long trailer, it's like you're at the end to try to just continue to engage the viewer. It's like this could be your sister, your cousin, your uncle, your friend, your daughter, your son, and that's what's startling, because it is so I don't know, normalized to some degree. So that's what we're trying to bring to light here. And this is we got 2 trailers that we're working on to promote this, and we did the first one and it's got more of an emotional tone. And after I saw that, I was like, ooh, we got to do something that just, really keeps just the punches coming, because it is such a difficult thing to talk about and people just don't understand. So yeah, let's see if this switches over, and I'll make sure that I get some audio. So this is the title, Emo. This will be emotional. Here we go.
My family essentially groomed me from the time that I was a toddler, basically so that I would be able to be raped, and they would be able to sell me to men who would sexually abuse me, and then they would receive money for that.
The victim got dropped off by a trafficker. It was a young female, early 20s. The victim could barely walk. She walked like she was 85 years old.
I didn't want to believe it, but I had people telling me they'd seen my daughter on Stockton Boulevard jumping in and out of cars. But I'm a lucky one. I have a daughter that came home.
Sex trafficking is embedded in the institutions of this country, and we see that historically, and we see that now in the lives of the women and kids who are being hurt.
You want to save everybody. Obviously, that's not even remotely possible.
It is so hard. I admire our women so much that make it out of this. But one thing they always tell us is they're still trying to put themselves back together. If we don't do something, it's not going to stop.
We all have value. We just have to remember that again.
Ooh, I know we've been in this a lot, but these trailers, especially because they're so short, have been impactful watching them, and to our viewers who are watching this for the first time and maybe wasn't expecting something so serious. Yeah, this is serious, but we're fighting back. This is something that we're doing to fight back.
Yeah, and this is part of and I didn't really preface that, but this is part of a much larger public awareness campaign that is going to run for the next couple of years, that we've been lucky enough to be a part and implement that. So these trailers and this film, are assets as part of a larger collection, and we have a much larger team that's helping run this campaign. So Turn It Up Media, Chad Malis, a very old high school friend who's also in media and PR. I got him involved, and I really wanted to just have a good team of people that were on the same page and that could share ideas and also think outside the box about kind of pulling the curtain back on what this kind of norm has been, this human trafficking or forced labor, and really pulling the curtain back on that. So, it's been I watched that video, I get emotional. Those are my kids that we used for some of those shots, and thinking about my daughters or my son or my wife or my mom or cousins or anybody, and then talking to these people. I watch these and it puts me back in that seat again. Asking these questions and asking people to tell some really deep, dark stories. So that's still it hits me right now, dude. So it's been a journey, and it's good to see all these things coming to light, and our goal is to make these things okay to talk about, because the more people are willing to engage, the more people will be aware of what's happening around them, and that's how you save lives. So but yeah, just to let everyone know, this is part of a much bigger campaign that will be happening for the next couple of years in Minnesota, and we're very honored to be a part of that.
And so that's the emotional version that we have. We have another one coming up here. This will be called The Glitchy. Again, it's super heavy material, and the intent is really to engage, inform, and then call to action, get you ready and roaring to help the cause. So let's switch over to that one. Here we go. Let's see if this works.
My family essentially groomed me from the time that I was a toddler so that I would be able to be raped, and they would be able to sell me to men who would sexually abuse me, and then they would receive money for that.
Every 2.6 days, somebody goes missing. Not just women, but men and children. Children go missing.
Sex trafficking is embedded in the institutions of this country, and we see that historically, and we see that now, and then kids who are being hurt.
But that's just the aggression that these pimps were having. Right there in the middle of Stockton Boulevard, walking this 14, 15-year-old girl around in a circle, yelling in her face, and nobody out there doing nothing. If we don't do something, it's not going to stop.
You want to save everybody. Obviously, that's not even remotely possible.
It is so hard. I admire our women so much that make it out of this. But one thing they always tell us is they're still trying to put themselves back together.
We all have value. We just have to remember that again.
I'm also struck that there's a sign that says happy hour, and then we're listening to some heavy stuff, but it's important. One other thing you heard there. So these are obviously cuts that we're working on. I don't know if you guys caught it. Did you catch the premiumbeat.com in the middle there? I thought we had those out of all these versions right now, but apparently not. It always gets you. That's how you can tell it's a rough, when there's that watermark. Premiumbeat.com.
The thing that I think is interesting, though, when you talk about it, to infuse a little bit of business in this opportunity, is that, man, that's the way it is. I mean, if you're a business at home, if you're an individual at home, I mean, you can get some of the audio files or B-roll, that you can make videos with a lot of assets that are out there. You don't have to go shoot like everything and compose your own original music for your video.
Yeah, I mean, you may be able to tell, especially with just how you can see it in here, the color correction. There are some stock in here, but our goal is to make sure that that it all integrates, and we can certainly do a lot from home. Things like this, this is kind of how we do our review. We'll talk about stuff. There's offline tools that we can use, but you jump back on, and I think John had an online edit with Google Hangouts before, trying to utilize the technology.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this is probably, like, even though everything has come to a standstill, this is probably the most set up we've ever been to keep working. We have, like, so many communication channels and so many ways to, like, all right, well, just jump on a video call and then we'll do this and share a screen. And like Ryan said, we did like a client edit, and it was a little jumpy and glitchy, but it worked. It's like, okay, you guys have seen the cut, and now we'll just watch it together here and make some comments about different sections, and it worked out.
Well, and that's, again, we're so fortunate to be able to be working in this field. And we started in 2007, kind of with the invention or the popularization of the 5D Mark II. You guys may remember that camera, that DSLR. We could do cinematic stuff. We were able to get in with that technology and even kind of subvert some of what was going on, because people had big machines that couldn't adjust to this new technology. And so that's something that we always try to, stay up to date with. And again, instead of getting caught up in the details, it's always like, keep your eye on that goal. What's the goal? We want to raise this awareness so that we can, get people out of this and protect people from going into human trafficking. And, I think that powerful movies or films or communications like this can really engage and help in those efforts. So, yeah, I miss traveling, because we travel so much for this. We goof around. You gotta be able to, take the good with the bad,
There has to
in
be
order
that
to handle it.
Us, yeah.
I do not recall one story of us goofing around ever. I don't know if that's my selective
Lie.
memory or.
See, that's 3 truths and a lie.
Oh,
Yep.
there's my lie.
I'm looking forward to getting back to doing that type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we've talked about this before, Rob, too, and you've asked this of us. Like maybe John and Brent, you can speak to it too, because I don't know that I've heard you guys talk about it. But like, what's working on this heavy stuff? You know, maybe Rob, you could start us off too. What has that been like for you? You know, had you encountered that before? There's also, you know, big statistics in Native groups. And that, you know, affects you in a personal way. So like what's, you know, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago before this started, what's it been like since?
Well, I think, you know, in our business, you know, we have a variety of clients, which I think makes what we do so much fun and interesting, because we're not working on, you know, the same program every day or even the same media with the same personalities. But when this, you know, we've done some, you know, relatively, you know, we've done important work, but nothing that's really heavy, that's like highlighting like an issue that you open their eyes to. And it's really intense. You know, like I said, you know, talking to my kids about this and talking to my wife and having my family watch these videos and me being, you know, on the forefront, you know, asking people these questions and obviously doing a lot of research into, you know, the issue and trying to figure out why, you know, why is this still this big, ugly thing that nobody wants to talk about when people are missing and dying every single day. So it compelled me even more so to take a deeper look kind of at myself and at Native country as well, you know, understanding, you know, how those numbers stack up with other populations. And it actually energized me to do and talk to more people about topics and it's just changed me, to be honest, from top to bottom. And I think, you know, as men, you know, we all, you know, there's all these different things that you're supposed to do as a guy. You go to college and you hang out with your buddies and you chase girls around, and then you become a father, and then you're like, oh, well, that's, you know, you're protective and you take care of your wife and you protect your family. And, you know, really that theme as men as peacekeepers has to be brought back to the forefront again, because unfortunately, you know, majority of the perpetrators and the people that are holding this leverage over the people that are being trafficked are male. So, you know, that onus is on us to count to that. And it's changed me. It's changed everything about how I go about just going into a store or a casino or a hotel, or, you know, I'm looking for different things now. I'm obviously more cognizant, and I'm obviously way more protective and want to educate my family on, you know, what's really happening out there, so that people are just better prepared and just more observant. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'll let them go first.
There's a couple of things that come to my mind. One of them I think that people wrestle with is sort of this if-then statement. If this is true, then what? You know, fill in the blank. Like, if this is going on, then I can't be doing this thing, or I need to like speak out against this or whatever. And I think a lot of people just, that's so difficult and heavy and uncomfortable to think about that they just, let's just not think about, you know, and just go back to distracting myself with, you know, watching this TV show or whatever. You know, I think it just takes people waking up and realizing what's important, and that it's not going to go away without, you know, people helping. I've got a good friend of mine who always talks about what he calls the sphere of influence. He's like, don't let your concern grow beyond your sphere of influence. Your sphere of concern, don't let it grow beyond your influence. So it's kind of helpful so that you're not crippled by, the weight of the world and what am I supposed to do about starving children in Africa and what about the animals in this rainforest. But in this case, the thing that this project is really, firing up in me is like, this is within my sphere of influence. I have the ability to influence through this project that we're doing. And so my concern can grow, can be really strong here. And, I can go after this with a lot, my full energy and my full heart.
Yeah, man, do it. Yeah, Brent, what about you?
It is certain. Yeah, no, it's certainly touched each of us. I think everybody, you can't help it when we talked about like some audio that you can get for free and some B-roll, but the majority of the stuff that's in here is real life. And it's us sitting down and talking to somebody and getting their story, and that it's easy to whitewash over things when you see like a TV show or a commercial, that stuff you can kind of ignore, but when it's like right here, you know what I mean? You have we're having this conversation right now and you're gonna find a way to get through it. It's changed, like you guys have all said, it changes the way you look at everything. I changed the way I would even think about active or so, as just people talk about other people. It's just changed the way you view the way you should even perceive another human being. It's certainly changed, had a huge impact in my life. And I look forward to this building and growing and us learning even more. I mean, us understanding the messages that need to be told to help.
And I feel like we're just at the beginning of it too, even though we've spent a year and a half together working on a lot of projects in this regard. Like I feel like with this campaign, we're just at the beginning. We're just at the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more work to do. Rob does have to go. I know you have another meeting, so you can tune in later to hear my answer. How's that sound? Get you to come back.
No, buddy. And sorry I got to jet, guys, but this is awesome, and I appreciate all of you, and obviously the important work that we're doing, and that will just continue on. So hopefully we get to do some more of these and share some more stuff and humorous stuff about all of us, because I still have some questions for you guys that it's probably
nice.
a better setup for me.
I do want to give you mad props too. This is an idea, this happy hour that I stole from Rob. So mad props to Rob. Like, hey, these conversations we have, we should just film them and put them online. Like, let me think about that. Kablam. So thank you for the ideas, and we'll make sure you guys keep coming back and helping us improve and talk about great things.
Yeah, you don't have to placate me, man. You had this idea already. It's fine.
I mean, we shared an idea.
No, I do appreciate that. I think this is great, and all you guys are so awesome. So have a great rest of your afternoon, and I appreciate you guys, just our whole relationship and where we're going with this thing. I think there's a lot of good things to come. And happy Mother's Day, Simona. I love you. And happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Rob. All right. I'll keep the other guys on. Rob can leave. We can finish this up too.
We got to get like a little avatar for Rob to like put in that corner when he.
Oh, that'd be great. Leaves. A little picture of him. Also, if you look at his video's gone. Let's see if this works. Okay, there we go. That works.
That works. Hey, does that mean I get two screens now? Does that mean I get to be twice
I could
as
put
big?
you in here twice. Oh, I could make you bigger. Oh, you just want to be bigger?
Oh,
whoa.
See? What happens when you take Rob out of the picture? Things get bigger.
I can do all sorts of things. And yeah, sorry to anybody watching on Facebook. I think YouTube streamed a little better. Facebook, it was a little stoppy-starty, not as good with the stream. And the audio was a little goofy. So sorry about that. We'll work on that. But I do kind of like this format. I like to do it kind of like a little show. I think that's fun. Did you guys have fun?
100%. I love watching you guys from Carbon 4 and doing them. I love watching you guys have a great way of interacting with people and bringing out questions, and it's just fun to talk about because we have personal connections as well, so we can infuse stories where needed.
Well, and we should investigate this 1 hour period. Like maybe we should think about it, because like I feel like we just got into stuff. You know, we had a little fun at the beginning, had some serious questions, watched a serious piece, answered like 2 things, then it's like, okay, you know, and we want to be not too long, but maybe we can think about this time format a little bit as well. So please let us know in the comments, like if we figure out the glitchy technology, if you'd want a little bit more, because, you know, maybe not the Joe Rogan 4 hours, but maybe we could easily do a 2 hour or something. What were you going to say, John?
Well, I was just going to say we start the conversation earlier and then start streaming after we've been chatting for a while. Oh, there you go. You know,
like that too. Kind of catch us midstream, and we've already got our flow going. You know,
we could even get prepped and start a little early if we're ready and talking. That'd be great.
Yeah,
it's an experiment.
The format for this, though, and using it as a way to communicate and stay relevant, I mean, it's been so cool. I mean, that's another thing that I know is going to change coming out of this, right? Yes, for like these projects in particular that we were just talking about, we had a lot of filming, travel, like that stuff can't get around. But there was probably a decent chunk of the meetings we could have maybe done virtually. Just it had the same impact. So it's you know, it is definitely fun to watch, and there's always going to be. I mean, the technology glitching and breaking and everything else. That's what makes it.
We'll call it charm. We'll call it charm. Yeah, I mean, for any of you nerds out there, we tried scheduling a live event this time instead of just going live on the page. So the back end technology is a little bit different, connecting to that scheduled live event as opposed to just going live on the page. I think for the user, it looks exactly the same. That's funny. John's got to let his son do his trombone lesson in a few minutes. Technology on the back end is a little different, and maybe that's what led to it. But we'll figure it out before next week when we have whoever we have next week. But I did want to shout out to Brent as well. You're working with us on digital marketing, which has been fantastic. On our own digital marketing, and part of it has been helping with this show and watching and coming up with ideas. So that's been very helpful, and I appreciate that. Thank you for that help on the show.
Yeah, no, I love it. You guys have a fantastic idea, and things are going great, and anything we can do or I can do to help try to tweak it or make it a little bit better, you know, that's all I'm here for. And it's been fun. I look forward to doing more. We should actually do one on like specifically on marketing too, you know, like here's your small business marketing power hour, you know what I mean? And then here's the happy, because I love the happy hour format, right? I mean, it's like get to know us personally. That's the best part about it.
I think you just named it. So this is our happy hour where we're kind of goofy. We can play a game or something and, you know, have some, what is this? Hard seltzer. And when we do more intense technical stuff or marketing stuff, it could be our power hour.
Yeah, and then we can play a game and be goofy.
No, I'll just sit back and run technology.
Or do we all have to like eat power bars or something? Like if you drink liquor during happy hour, what do we drink or eat during the power hour?
Yeah, some kind of energy.
I'm still drinking coffee from this morning.
All right.
Cool. So let's go ahead and wind down here. Last thoughts, any well wishes for your wives or your moms? Maybe let's end there.
Yeah, 100%. First off, Peggy, I love you. You know you're my rock. This Mother's Day may be a little more boring than others, but you know, hey. And Mom, if you're watching, you know I love you. You've been a huge inspiration in my life. So thank you very much for helping raise me the way I am. She don't know if I can say that. She may not approve.
Thank
at
you
that
for
point.
making me awesome.
Yeah, no.
No, that's valid.
It's cool. That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
This is like the first holiday with quarantine. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like, what do you do? You could use it as an excuse. You could be like, Ma, COVID. I would do something for you.
If only there was a system
Or-
you could like call and, pick out flowers and like get them delivered. We should invent that. I
Yeah.
don't think that exists. We should do that. Yeah.
Oh, you should do something with a cookie company too. That would be tasty.
Ooh. It all depends on
There's
how
some
far away
ideas
that
we can
cookie company
percolate.
goes. 2 hours? You travel 2 hours?
My mom lives in Yankton, South Dakota, so
We'll leave now.
yeah, you might want to get
Mother's Day.
started.
Cookies are food. Food is essential. It's fine. It'll just cost a little bit extra for the travel.
Right.
All right, John, what do you got?
Oh boy!
Put on the spot. Put on the spot.
Can I do the what he said thing for this moment? Or
What he said?
yeah, I don't. Yeah, that boy, that spot that on the spot got me. Yeah, happy Mother's Day, Mom. If you're watching, maybe you'll watch it later. I don't actually know what you do with a lot of the media that I'm in. I know you like it. But I love you, and I appreciate your support. And Amanda, I think you're upstairs. It's probably waiting for me to get off, so Rowan can
Gotta
do his
get to
trombone
class.
lesson. But you are a great mom, and you do a ton of amazing work taking care of the family and the kids.
Awesome.
Awesome, Ryan.
Yep.
Finish us off, man.
And real quick, check us out on @Let's Backflip. You're probably there on Facebook. We're on Twitter and Instagram. And then you guys are Perodigm. Are you Perodigm everywhere? Check you guys out.
Perodigm everywhere. Yep.
All right. I mean, you might be watching this right now on Perodigm Facebook, right?
They should be. Yeah, the link, I think I actually linked it back to you guys because the cross posting didn't want to work.
Sure.
So either way,
We'll get technology
somebody's watching it.
someday.
Put questions down here, guys. I mean, we didn't obviously get to questions today,
yeah.
but we use every question you have, whether it's about us personally or about businesses or about a marketing or video or whatever question. Post them because we will save those in a little file and we will add them to the
And
next.
it's just way more entertaining. We can answer some online or on the next episode. Thanks for that reminder, Brent. So we'll start with Mom. You brought me into this world, and I appreciate you so much for more than just that, for being there for me, growing up. And I think I turned out pretty all right. The jury's still out, but really appreciate.
You got a few bits and pieces going on for you.
Appreciate all the sacrifices you made, through the years. I remember you driving a bus and us riding in there and, just working at the convenience store at the end of the road and just working your butt off to try to provide for us. And that was amazing. You and Dad both, but this is not Father's Day. This is Mother's Day. So love you so much.
Yeah,
get the dads out of here. Keep them close by. Just get them out of the room of thanks. Love you so much for that. And your thoughtfulness with our kids is awesome as well. And then Monica, I don't know if you'll watch this, but to everyone else, my wife is amazing. She puts up with a very strong-willed person and is a kind servant artist, who just loves to do things for other people. And you inspire me in that. You're an amazing mom. You're a great mom. We do things our own way, and that's cool. And I love you for that. Thank you, Monica. Your new flowers will get here next week.
Well done.
Cool.
Well said.
That's it. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll hit that button. We got to have some outro music or something.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, everybody, or anybody who tuned in. I hope it was at least one, if not.
Hope it was mildly entertaining.
Yeah. We should all post in the comment after whether our wives or mothers actually watch the video, like,
Oh,
that
nice.
totally paid off, or
Yeah, that was the whole point of
no.
this, just to get cred with the wives and the moms, the important women. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Right.
Yay. Thanks, Amanda. You're amazing. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, let's see.